Jonathan Lee Riches Investigates. I am covering the Moscow, Idaho case. New bombshell information coming out in regards to Bryan Kohberger's behavior when authorities arrested him in his parents' Pennsylvania home. Monroe County First Assistant District Attorney Michael Mancuso spoke on the record about what Bryan Kohberger was doing when authorities went and arrested him. I'm going to share what he said because we're going to discuss this matter. Was Michael Mancuso telling the truth or not? Check this out.
Mr. Kohberger, as with any other criminal defendant, is presumed innocent unless and until proven guilty in a court of law. So that remains the case. But certainly for the investigation and the interest of the investigators in building the case layer by layer, that was a significant find. Mr. Kohberger was found awake in the kitchen area, dressed in shorts and a shirt and wearing latex medical type gloves, and apparently was taking his personal trash and putting it into a separate Ziploc baggie. Trash pull that was done days before recovered DNA profiles, but not from him, only from his family members. It could very well explain some of the other aspects of the case from Idaho, some of the lengths that a person would go to avoid having their DNA left behind when they know or should have known that there was an investigation underway. I would be keen on the shoes, the size of the shoes, the comparison to any shoe impressions that might have been recovered at the scene.
So he said Bryan Kohberger was wearing surgical gloves and he was fiddling through trash, putting it in plastic baggies. Do you believe that? Do you believe his story? Because he's the only one that is out there, Michael Mancuso, speaking about the behaviors. I haven't seen it on any other court records at all. He came forward on the record. And isn't there a gag order in reference to this case? So I'm a little bit wondering if, Michael, the gag order applies to Pennsylvania authorities too, talking about the case. But he spoke. Now, I looked into Michael Mancuso a little bit, that first assistant district attorney. He's being sued right now. He's being sued right now in federal court, and the family attorney for Trayvon Martin, Benjamin Crump, is suing Mancuso and others, but he's suing Mancuso for misleading the public. I want to share an article. This is an article written by the Pocono Record, dated March 31st, 2022. Lawyers file federal lawsuit in case of Pocono teen killed in police shooting. Lawyers for Christian Hall's parents have filed a federal lawsuit against 5 Pennsylvania State Police personnel, as well as Monroe County and its top 2 district attorneys, following the 19-year-old's fatal shooting by police in 2020 and the subsequent local investigations. The officers are accused of excessive force, and the district attorneys are accused of retaliating against Faye and Gareth Hall, among other allegations. Let's scroll down here a little bit. The lawsuit was filed in the Middle District of Pennsylvania by Benjamin Crump. Benjamin Crump is was Trayvon Martin's family attorney. Comes 15 months after Hall was shot and 1 year to the day after Monroe County First Assistant District Attorney Michael Mancuso announced at a press conference that the shooting was justified. Names numerous law enforcement officers. But scrolling down here, I want to share something down here. We'll scroll down a little bit more. I want to share a little bit about Michael Mancuso, who is named in this article here. And Michael Mancuso is the same individual that just shared information about Bryan Kohberger. The lawsuit alleges that Christine and Mancuso additionally furthered the conspiracy by retaliating against Faye and Gareth for engaging in protected speech, covering up the fact that PSP, Pennsylvania State Police, official statement was false, and by intentionally misleading the public during a press conference. The presentation showed by Mancuso at the press conference included video of the shooting, but with Hall blurred in the final moments before police fired. The presentation misleads the viewer into believing that in the redaction portion of the video, Christian pointed the perceived handgun at troopers while advancing on troopers, the lawsuit says. Mancuso and Christine are accused of retaliating against Fate and Gareth Hall for their public criticism of Pennsylvania State Police. So the lawsuit is saying that, according to this article, that Mancuso has misled the public with statements. You can read this article, you can find this article yourself and read it more, but this Michael Mancuso is the same individual that just went public and talked to the media about Bryan Kohberger and what he was doing when a police arrested him. Misleading the public about facts, about a case. And here is the court case in case you want to go find it yourself. It's out there. So the question is Mancuso telling the truth about Bryan Kohberger going through, trash and wearing gloves at the time of his arrest? Because I think that's a big deal. If it is true, if it's true, a jury's going to hear that and wonder, why was Bryan Kohberger wearing gloves in a kitchen inside his house in the middle of the night fiddling through trash? That alone to me is guilt. Like you're trying to hide something. But was Mancuso lying and just made that up to sensationalize, mixed in some facts about the case that went down, but added some of his own version? Remains to be seen. But I just wanted to point it out, being objective here. I'm not saying Mancuso is lying, but is he telling the truth? He's already being sued for misleading the public. Has he done it again? Did he do it again? Once you mislead the public, sometimes you become a habitual misleading the public type of person. Is that Mancuso? Who knows? Remains to be seen. Subscribe to my channel, hit the notification button. Check out my Moscow, Idaho playlist. I am covering this case. And whenever these people come forward, we analyze and dissect them. Everyone be safe. Justice for the victims and their family.